Hey guys, welcome back to the Struggleville 2 YouTube channel. For this video, we're going to talk about how to properly adjust your 700R4 TV cable or detent cable. This cable controls your shifting. If you do not have it adjusted correctly, you will quickly burn up your transmission. So it's vitally important to get this set right. I have two different styles of cables to show you. The other one is in the car, and it also has the brackets that I can show you. This is going to be what you probably originally had if your car originally came with the 700R4. The other one I have is an aftermarket one that maybe some of you have or you'll want to buy, and I'll have links down below. Also, if you hear a fan in the background, that's because there's a fan going in the background. That's outside, that's inside. That's why there's a fan on. Something to keep in mind as you're adjusting your cable, if it's too far out, too far pulled this way, it's going to make this loose when connected to your linkage. And when it's too loose like that, you're going to fly right through your gears. It's going to go duh-duh-duh-duh. You're going to be in overdrive before you know it. And that's what burns up the transmission. If you make it too tight, you're going to have more spaced out shifts, probably firmer shifts, but also you run the risk of then breaking the cable because you may try and pull on this harder than what it's designed to do. So you'll either break it here or at the housing on the other end, and the other end will cause a leak on top of the cable not functioning anymore. So either way, you end up with problems, big problems. A broken cable is going to be just as bad for your transmission as a poorly adjusted one. In this style, there's going to be a bracket that has a square hole in it, and this is going to slide through. These tabs pop out, and it sits just like that. Your firewall is that way, your linkage is this way, and this is where this hooks up, right? So this button right here is what allows this to go in and out and be adjusted. Sometimes they're a pain to push. So if you have a pair of like hose gripper pliers like this, you can make life a little bit easier on yourself and use these pliers to push that button in. And then we can adjust how far in or out that is. So what you're going to do, you're pushing the button in so you can adjust it. You are going to adjust it all the way back. So it's all the way in like that. While it's adjusted in, keep pressing the button. You have this attached to your linkage. Now mine's not hooked up to a transmission, so it's not going to work exactly correctly, but you're going to give it full throttle and hold it. As you hold it, this is going to pull out. Hold full throttle, let go of that button, and you have it adjusted. The principle is that when you are at full throttle, this thing is pulled out as far as it'll go. And then it's adjusted correctly. Now this works perfectly if you have an original setup. Your car came with the 700R4, it had this TV cable, you have the original bracket. That's exactly how you'll do it, perfect. If this is, the car did not come with the 700R4 and you put it in, therefore you have to get the right brackets. There's actually two brackets you're going to need with a carburetor. So let's go to my car and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I want to show you the two brackets that you're going to need if you're running a carburetor and this other style of TV cable. Now you can see right there is the TV cable going through that hole, and it's on this black bracket here that bolts to the intake. If I can find the bracket or a correct bracket, I'll link it down below. Now the TV cable goes through there and connects. I have mine on the back side because that's what gave me a linear shot, but most times you'll see it on this side. It's probably someone using a different bracket than what I have, but mine's on the inside. Now I have an Edelbrock carburetor. You can see this little bracket right here. It goes through there, and then there's a tab on the back side. You can see the TV cable hooking up to this tab on the back side. It looks just like this, just on the other side. Now if you have a carburetor, they make different ones for Edelbrock or Holley, but you need this bracket because it changes the geometry of the pivot and how far it swings. So if you think about it, if the cable, the TV cable you're using, let's say it has a 1-inch swing on being all the way in and all the way out, but when mounted on your carburetor, it has a 2-inch swing from front to back. Well, then your cable is never going to be right because the geometry of it isn't right. So you need that bracket to correct it, and it's not expensive, hell of a lot cheaper than buying a new transmission. So you want that bracket to shorten your throw. Now, as for this cable, that's what this stupid line coming off is, this TV cable. If given the option, use the first style that I showed you. It works on this setup all the same. The only reason this one is on the car is because it's already on the car. If I ever have to take it off, I am going back to that other way of doing it. This one has just a little like set screw guy. It has the same connection. You can see for me, my return spring bolt that I put there blocks me from taking this off, and I'm not taking the whole thing apart just to show it to you guys. But you're doing the same principle. You're gonna wide open throttle, pull this until that screw is tight up against the head that goes on the tab sticking out. And it's the same principle. When you're all the way wide open throttle, you want the TV cable pulled all the way out. But I'm telling you, it's a pain to try and tighten that screw and have it adjusted up against the head of that thing while holding the throttle open. It's just, the other way is so much better. So that's how you adjust the TV cable. If at all possible you want this style of cable, you're going to need that bracket with the square hole in the back. And because it's adjustable, if you're capable, you could customize one yourself. It's not that big of a deal. Just get it lined up with the linkage and within range of being able to adjust it. So you're going to need a back bracket. If you're running a carburetor, get one of the geometry brackets, and you're good to go. It's really easy to do. Just have to know, you know, the purpose of it and how it works. Well, there it is, guys. Make sure to subscribe. We have some more projects on this here Caprice, some projects on the Corvette, and we may even have some stuff for the ZR2 coming up. Thanks for watching. Give the video a like, and I'll see you guys next time.